Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
If taken into your body any other way but eating it, nutmeg is one of the most poisonous things in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Like less than a teaspoon of it injected intravenously. Take out a person.
Huh.
I'm not saying you should do anything with that information.
Good. So I hope my phone just broke. And my phone probably had nutmeg.
It landed the
It
other
was
way.
nutmeg. I'm not saying it wasn't nutmeg, but do you
It
see
was
nutmeg in your phone in the same room at the same time?
Yeah, all good.
And I'm nutmeg.
And you're
Sounds
nutmeg.
about right.
All right, Cameron.
You should go to the Twitter and use the hashtag Geeks Corner. That's the hashtag Geeks Corner to talk at us as we talk really, really fast about a bunch of stuff that happened this last weekend.
It's a whirlwind.
All about D23 Expo. If you want to catch any of the coverage that we've posted throughout the last weekend, go to dapsmagic.com/D23Expo. Or just go to the homepage and click on the D23 Expo link that will be there for a few more weeks, and then it'll disappear. So you'll have to go back to where I told you, because that will always be there. So this weekend was the D23 Expo, and it was
What?
3 days of magical happiness for some people and not so much for other people. But that seems to be with everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it
It's
kind
also
of...
just, I mean, I was going to say Disney fans, but that's fans of everything.
It's life.
Yeah.
Life is all
That's
about how
life.
you look at it sometimes. And we definitely had a very good experience, but part of it was we chose to have a good experience. And
Yeah.
when we got stuck in the basement in the wrong line, I was like, okay, we're stuck in the basement in the wrong line. It's okay. It worked out. And we actually ended up with really good seats.
We did.
Like,
it worked out very well.
It was like a small miracle, because we thought we were going to be in a terrible spot. They're like, oh, you're going to be in the back.
That's what they told us.
And then we went in and we're like, hey, we're in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in the front row of the middle.
Yeah.
Like, it turned out really great for, that was Disney character voices,
Yeah.
which we're not really talking about tonight, but you should go check out the video and Roger's article on it, because it might be, I haven't read your Epcot, bless you. I haven't listened or read your Epcot article yet, but right now I feel like Roger's article on character voices is the best thing we put out for the D23 Expo. So if you're still here watching, we're not going to talk about that right now.
No.
We're going to talk about first Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Disney Plus will be coming out November 12th. They have a deal going for Disney D23 members right now, where you can get 3 years and basically save $23 a year if you purchase it all up front. The thing to know with this is it doesn't get you Hulu or ESPN, and so you're not getting the full package. You're just getting Disney Plus.
And there's no way to
Great
add it
deal.
on.
Yeah, you'd have to do those separately.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind if you're looking at this deal.
And that's also for all D23 members. Like, you can sign up for a free D23 account.
Yeah.
And you will be eligible for the deal until September 2nd.
Yeah, and you're part of the Founders Circle then.
Yes. Woo.
So we learned a little bit more about Disney Plus, and I think some of the highlights were the Mandalorian trailer.
So good.
Looks ridiculous. Did you get to see that, Cameron? I should have played it beforehand.
Snippets. Yeah.
It's so good.
It looks like they're gonna nail this, and it's gonna be fantastic.
It's very Rogue One-y.
Yeah, Rogue One, like, even more Western feel from what I saw.
100%.
That's exactly what Mr.
Yeah.
Dapp said.
And that's actually that excites me and concerns me, because I hope it's not just a bunch of Western tropes that they've thrown into space.
I hope it's spaghetti western.
I mean, I everything was like, this is Tombstone with space armor.
See, and I
Like-
thought Silverado, but they're both like the same sort of movie, and so
Fun bonus fact, do you know why they're called spaghetti westerns?
I do, but I don't remember.
Italian producers. The majority of them were Italian funded.
I love it. Spaghetti.
that's good to know. We also got a trailer about Lady and the Tramp.
I haven't seen it yet.
It looks
But puppies.
ridiculously cute, and they brought the 2 dogs on stage.
Oh no, I carve everything. They're so cute.
Yeah, it was
And
adorable.
the puppies were so well behaved.
They're actors. All right,
and
they are
they're
professionals.
Yes, and one is from Arizona, where he was saved from a shelter.
Which one?
Guess. The other one's purebred. High School Musical, the musical, the series, had a trailer come out. I'm amazed I got that out.
A High School Musical, the musical series.
Yes.
That reminds me of, there's going to be a deep dive, or a deep pull. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the movie, the soundtrack, which was one of my favorite albums of all time, for the record. In fact, we opted to listen to it very loudly while pulling up to Geeks Corner.
It's true.
It's true.
We can hear
you
it.
can hear it. The entire world can hear it as he's coming.
Yeah.
Learned a bit more about the Marvel series coming out.
Yes.
It really almost felt like a studios panel over a Disney Plus, and I don't even want to say just Disney Plus because this is the main thing that they're really focusing on right now. But it sounds like there's going to be a ton of really cool things coming out of this. And they also have an initiative that was the company-wide initiative, which we were all wrong. Cameron was closest.
Started by Imagineer Nick Fury.
Yes.
There was an idea.
There was an idea to film people from across the Walt Disney Company all on the same day doing their jobs, which is one day at Disney, and it will be coming out, I think, December 10th?
I know December, I don't know
December
the exact
something, it'll be out. There's a book that looks gorgeous. It's coming with it as well. And now that we know...
Read along at home.
Right? I think the book is longer than the movie, but I don't know.
It's like 200 and something pages.
Yeah, so now that we know a little bit more about Disney Plus,
yes.
Thoughts?
I'm incredibly excited. Just watching the trailers and seeing the caliber of things coming out, which isn't a surprise. Of course.
Which is difficult to rate because lasers don't typically have caliber. It's usually reserved to lead-based.
And they really use blasters in Star Wars.
Yeah, so it's
slightly
like a
different
voltage
anyway,
thing, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's what our
But where will be lightsabers in The Mandalorian?
Lightsabers in The Mandalorian.
No.
I'm betting one will show up somewhere and it'll be like
Yeah.
kind of in passing thing, but
Maybe.
Yeah.
like, oh, stay away from those people. I don't know.
But I love that.
They're them Jedis.
Yeah. Well, not
Turn to camera. Wink.
Obi-Wan. That was the other big news. Is Obi-Wan's getting
Yes!
Obi-Wan.
I was like, there was something really big that happened.
Oops.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's right. Ewan McGregor.
he was there.
Yes.
Very cool.
There will probably be lightsabers.
Does anyone
there.
want to see him in his Obi-Wan costume singing all of the hits of Moulin Rouge? Because
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really want that so
Maybe
bad.
it'll be a blooper that you have
We
to
could
buy
be
the movie or
lovers.
buy the series to see it.
Do that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Anyway, are you getting Disney Plus?
Of course I'm getting Disney
Yeah.
Plus.
I-
I might wait for the bundle. I will say that.
I
because,
actually think there's an argument to be made for that.
the reason for it is I am surprising myself by how much excited I am for the option of ESPN.
What in ESPN are you looking
The
forward
hockey.
to? Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm a
that's
big
fair.
hockey fan, and I haven't been able to watch a game in years. So having
Nice.
that as an option would be very cool. So,
Cool.
not to mention, it looks like the majority of the original content is going to be released episodically. So it's not
Yes.
like we have to rush to see all the content right just now. So I feel like Apple will lead the way.
Yeah, you totally do. And I'm sure that bundle will be available before November 12th.
Absolutely.
Like, I'd be shocked if they wait to the 12th to sign up. But maybe, who knows? We could be surprised. And Obi-Wan. Like, I don't know when that's coming, but I want to see it.
Obi-Wan.
We had the Disney Studios panel also. And that had a lot of things to cover. We're not going to hit it all.
So much.
Briefly, what were things that really popped out at you from this?
David Diggs and Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about that. He's in Seoul. There was other casting announcements that were fantastic, but when I was actually writing up the article and I was downloading photos, I was like, why was David Diggs there? Huh? And then I got ridiculously excited.
I was impressed with how many original films are coming out.
Definitely.
So you've got, what is it, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yes.
See, I couldn't say it the other day, but today I got it.
I'm very proud of you.
You've got Onward, you've got Soul, you've got, there's another one from Disney Studios. It's original, I feel like.
Disney Studios?
Yeah, I have the wrong article in the link, so I'm lost right now.
Well, and I know there's Eternals coming from...
Eternals coming from Marvel.
Right, which is kind of like a displacement against like uniformed contractual work with the government. At least my understanding of the Eternals so far. It's kind of a breakaway from them actually working for a government agency. Yeah. So you could say the Disney Studios have got soul, but they're not a soldier.
I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah.
Black Widow's coming. Jungle Cruise is a new movie.
Yeah!
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, not new. Mulan, not new, but kind of. Cruella, not new, but kind of.
I'm excited about Cruella.
The
picture looked really good.
Well, I'm fascinated by the costume design.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's 1970s London.
Every
Cruella de Vil.
Every incarnation of Cruella de Vil has had wonderful fashion associated with it.
Well, did you guys see the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looks very
the car, the area, like the whole thing, it actually felt to me more realistic than the one, was it 15 years ago?
Something like that.
the last live
The last
101
Airbender,
and
yeah.
102, and so I'm really curious. And then the fact that she had 2 Dalmatians, or was it 3 Dalmatians that she was walking?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, is this where she turns into bad Cruella? Like she liked dogs once, and then she got bitten, so then she decided to make them into
Until she
totes?
found a mask which enhanced whatever personality trait she had within her, giving her superhuman abilities.
Yeah.
Later found by
But
Jim Carrey.
that whole photo looks so Vogue photo shoot, like her like walking Dalmatian dogs,
Which makes sense.
in a Cruella getup,
Yeah.
and it's so 70s. It's beautiful. I'm very, very excited about that.
I think the whole thing's good. Like it intrigues me way more than the last. Was it Glenn Close that did it?
I was trying to remember. It's Glenn Close.
And that one was fine. Like it was a cute movie, but this actually engaged me the moment I saw that picture. I was like, oh, this is not, because the other one was kind of over the top melodrama.
Yeah. Well, she was doing. Glenn Close was doing Devil Wears Prada with.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Devil Wears Prada with puppies. Is all it was.
Yeah.
My hope with this one is that they don't go Maleficent.
Yeah. Which that's the one concern I have with her walking the dogs at the beginning of this. Is like, oh, is she going to go from puppy lover to puppy hater? And is that the whole...
The best movies are the ones where you can love to hate the main character the entire time.
Yeah.
And if I think as an actress she can pull this off, it would be so much fun.
I also think it has the potential to be terrifying.
Which would be great.
Because it's so not hyper realistic, but because it feels so real world.
Yeah, and that would make it fantastic.
I agree.
Puppy murder, but make it fashion.
Then the last one that they announced is Frozen 2.
Yes.
Be, and everybody who's seen what they showed there said it looks bigger, more beautiful, and they're all for it. So
I'm fascinated from the prequel talkings that they've done, and from being able to see at the studio's pavilion, I guess you could call it. They have the not
yeah,
obelisks.
they had some.
They had the things you see in the trailer, and you got to
Yeah.
see them up close, which was fascinating.
Yeah. Cameron probably would have really appreciated
You
that
really
because you've
would've.
probably been like, oh yeah, that thing there means this.
I almost
and
sent you a photo to be like, can you tell me what these mean?
Were they giant standing stones with
It-
runic
yeah.
carvings on
It
them?
was
Yes.
the thing that you
You
see
would've-
for a brief second.
You would have
Yeah.
been. You probably would have been standing there analyzing them while everybody else just walks by.
Everyone else would have been like, Anna Nelson. You would have been like, no. And then just like,
Shut up, Odin's at the top.
Yeah, that's exactly I think what would have happened. The biggest story I feel like for DAPS that came out of the weekend was the Disney Parks Experiences and Products panel.
There you go,
I'm
yeah.
still not used
Park
to that
Experience
title.
Products.
it's a long name.
It's Bob Chapek hosted that, and
Bullseye.
And
Target
Bullseye
dog.
was there for Target, which of all of the
He
things
wasn't just
we,
there as a guest.
yeah, as all the things we predicted for Disney Parks Experiences and Products,
Not see
Bullseye
Target.
showing up, especially that Bullseye showing up, was not on the list.
It's true.
Like, I could have maybe imagined Bullseye from Toy Story showing up. Because
I was wondering what connection you're going. I'm like, do you personally know the many dogs who have played Bullseye?
well,
he's like-
I would never have predicted Target.
No. I think... And
It's genius.
It
It's so smart. From a
It's-
financial standpoint, it's the most genius thing I have heard of.
And I think that was the fascinating thing about watching social media's reactions to the Parks and Resorts panel. Because everybody's like typing along. They're like, oh, this is fun, ... Target? With a bunch of like question marks.
And literally the whole room went, what?
I think you and I actually, at a very similar time, sent each other a text message that said Target with the same amount of question marks.
It was very
17.
interesting.
But it's
Pretty much.
and I think the interesting thing, California is not getting one of the 25 Targets with a Disney store in it.
Well, and Bob
Florida
Chapek,
is.
as he was leading up into this segment, he flat out said, this is for
People
communities
that
that can't get to a Disney store, which I think is great. And I think there's one store or one Target that's getting this that's close to a Disney store, and that's in basically Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is where Target's headquartered.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, of course they're
They
going to
were
put
like,
one
and
by-
we're going to put one
We're putting one in the
right
headquarters
here.
so the boss can go down the street and check it out.
Yeah.
One of the funny parts of that announcement was the description for it was how it's got Disney stuff and they're going to have experiences and Instagrammable locations. And I was like, a Disney executive just said they're making Instagrammable locations in a Target. I was amused
Which
by it.
makes me very interested to see what it's going to look like.
But
It's
we
really-
already know. That's the fun part. Economy high. Magnolia Farms. Did Target's already done this? They've done this already. They did it with Magnolia Farms, and
Not wrong.
I know.
it's the exact same thing, but with Disney. So they've already worked out the kinks of how this thing's going to work, and it's Disney, so they're going to give them so much to set
We're
it
gonna
up
have to
right.
go on a road trip to find one or get somebody.
it's
Maybe
so
Mikey
smart.
can get us one in Florida.
I was gonna say, because I think they're getting one in like northern.
They're going to make so much money.
But
Oh, they
the
totally
other
are.
thing is that
So
And
much
brand
money.
awareness is going to go through the roof.
every Target around the country is going to have more high quality Disney merchandise.
Yeah.
So even though their Disney stores are only coming to 25 nationwide locations, every store is going to have a nicer selection of
Yeah.
t-shirts and toys and things like that.
And from the media exchange, or not media exchange, but a product exchange of Disney, their most flailing thing for the last 2 decades has been the Disney store.
Yep.
Because it's difficult to manage a Disney bespoke store in general. Not to mention they didn't have full ownership for a long time. Yada, 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 a whole bunch of reasons.
They're going to feed into each other.
This is the best solution. It's
Yep.
so smart.
So the other thing that came out of the Disney Parks panel that really will affect us more is next spring we now know that the Magic Happens parade will be coming to Disneyland. We do know that there's a Moana float. We know that there's a Coco float, and there's an Aurora float or a Sleeping Beauty float. They all look very cool and magical, and it's the whole concept art thing. But we also got to see the theme song,
Yes.
and that was performed there, and it's interesting because it's a high energy. It's kind of almost a mix between Celebrate a Street Party meets Parade of Dreams with a little bit of Soundsational all like lumped
And
together.
Festival of Fantasy.
And a sprinkle of
And a
people.
little bit of Festival of Fantasy. And I actually think it's going to be closest to Festival of
I
Fantasy.
agree.
But it was interesting listening to the music and trying to like picture they're very traditional float. Like they look like what you'd expect from a traditional Disney parade. And I'm completely intrigued by this parade just because I'm wondering if they literally went like, what worked in Parade of Dreams? What worked in Celebrate? What
Probably.
worked in
Well,
Sensational?
everything they've
what
shown
worked in-
is all spectacle size stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just gonna be a spectacle heavy parade.
It's going to be a high energy,
Yeah.
but high Disney magic also. I
Yeah.
mean, it's starting with Mickey Mouse and it's ending with Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
And I just think they're really, which is perfect for our park.
Yeah.
Kind of tie it in with Sleeping Beauty Castle and all that fun stuff. But what did you guys think of the music, the parade, all that fun jazz?
My favorite thing about parade music is the way it gets interpreted for each unit. So that's what I'm most excited
yeah.
to see.
Because are they going to pull in the songs and stuff?
Yeah, is how basically the song has to get rewritten 8 or 9 times, depending on which unit it is. And that's what I think is the most fascinating part of parade music, and how it all syncs up and
Loops and...
yeah, so on and so forth. So that, I think the song is very fun. I've listened to it once, and I get a Festival of Fantasy vibe from it completely.
Yeah.
Like, we were trying to discuss where I was placing it, and I was like, oh my god, it's literally Festival of Fantasy. Like, and not in it's a replica way, in
It just has that vibe.
the feel.
Yeah, that was the first thing that popped in our head too.
Yeah. But I'm very excited to see, and I think the parade, the concept art looks gorgeous. Obviously, we're not going to see an exact replica of what the concept art is, but I think it's very pretty.
But the technical concept with the small screen elements that they had kind of incorporated, especially the Moana one for
Yeah.
the different things happening under the water and stuff. From a technical standpoint, that looks like it's a lot of fun and an evolution of the Paint the Night
Yeah,
parade.
definitely. I kind of think like the Monsters Inc. float with the moving screens and
It'll
so
be
on.
interesting to see the repeatability and if it's
Yes.
something that draws people back to keep watching over and over again, or if it's going to be something like, well, it was like the Pixar Play Parade when it was at Disneyland. We saw it once or twice and we're like, this is a fun parade. Doesn't quite feel right. Didn't really watch it that many times. As much as we really enjoyed it, it just didn't connect the same way. So that'll be an interesting thing to see. Other thing that was announced for Disneyland Resort is Avengers Campus, which is also going to Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney Studios, I believe. It's coming to Disney California Adventure. We got some concept art. We got a real good kind of feel for what we're actually going to experience and see when it opens next year. And perhaps most exciting, in fact, I think it's the most exciting part of the announcement, wasn't anything that's coming next year, but the Phase 2. We're going to get to go on a Quinjet,
yeah.
and that's going to be awesome. with a new ride system. Like
And
they're
it's an
developing a ride system for this.
E-ticket attraction.
And it's an e-ticket attraction.
And it proves that the concept of Galaxy's Edge of delayed openings of certain parts worked really well, even before it's actually happened. So.
Oh yeah, because we're already looking.
Yep.
Well, and it's a very planned 2-phase opening. They're opening the most exciting attraction. No offense to Smuggler's Run and no offense to the Spider-Man attraction that's opening first.
Or the microbrewery.
That is an attraction fair.
Which they aren't calling a microbrewery anymore.
It's
Pim's Test Kitchen now.
Test Kitchen.
But it's the best pun ever.
I know.
They have to.
I don't know.
But the fact that they are giving the thing...
Is there going to be a Pim particle drink?
Probably.
There's going to be a Pim particle.
They said they were going to play with sizes and stuff. So who knows? I bet there's going to be like a massive pretzel. It's a $60 pretzel. Anyway, keep going.
They're giving you an entire land to be excited about. And so they say, here's 3/4 of the land. Have a great time. But they keep the most exciting thing from you. So yeah, you have an entire land to explore. But you also have this gigantic thing to look forward to, as where if it wasn't the big ticket attraction of the land, you'd be like, it's fine, I don't need to come back. Which
it's true. I mean, it's really the brilliance of Rise of the Resistance at this point. And
the accidental brilliance of Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, well, they fell on it there, and they're like, hey, let's use it over here.
I think that's exactly it. Rise of the Resistance was an accident, and them making, I believe, the correct choice to delay opening an aspect of it to make sure that it could be fully functional and repeatable for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And them going, oh, so that worked well. Let's do that again.
And looking at the press the last 2 days in Florida, or today, and it'll be today and tomorrow in Florida, like, it's getting eaten up this time. They're also going to have a ton of characters. I mean, we already kind of hit the Pim test.
Iron Man is the coolest.
Iron Man, Black Widow, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Black Panther. The one I noticed is missing. Anybody notice?
Black Widow?
Thor was also on the list.
Thor and Loki are on the list also. There is no Captain America on this list.
Mm-hmm.
He has another life to live.
I'm betting we get to see Cap in his new form.
That would be
later.
cool. That would be cool. But then we wouldn't have Iron Man.
Falcon.
But then we wouldn't have Iron Man. I feel like.
I was like 90-year-old Captain America.
Well, but there's also going to be a new Iron Man. So
that could be.
I'm betting the mask stays on.
That could be very cool.
Yes.
Spider-Man attraction, your web slinger helping Spider-Man capture.
How does one do webs?
Robotic.
The ride vehicles look very fun.
Yeah, the ride vehicles do look fun.
They almost look. This probably won't mean anything to you, but they look very Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll take it one step further. They look like the Transformers ride vehicles.
Yeah.
More than that, even. They look a lot like the Transformers ride vehicles.
But I think that it's.
Universal fans high.
So, everyone keeps talking about Midway Mania, but I think it's not Midway Mania.
No, I think it looks to me like, so they had an Avengers campus part of the pavilion and you could go in and they had basically the computer that like Iron Man uses or that Tony Stark uses where you're going like this and you're moving stuff around without actually touching it. And they created that, not necessarily 3D, but they've done it so you can be in front of the wall and move stuff around. And I have to wonder if it's going to follow your hands somehow. And it's like what happens in front of you is going to be related to what you're doing with your hands.
Which would be fascinating.
Based off of a motion caption thing.
Also, how well you say flip.
Flip.
The other thing I'm curious about, because I was looking, it kind of just popped in. Of course, the red car trolley is going to go through here at some level. But look at this piece of concept art. Look at where we're at right now.
So that's the Tavon collection back there.
Way back there. But look at where the tracks are.
I don't think that those are trolley tracks.
What are they?
I think that's a design that will...
Droids!
But...
They could be, though.
The thing is that...
Oh, wait, you know what? There's too many. Never mind.
Thank you. The thing is that...
I'm not intrigued anymore.
It will have to go through the land because the trolley station is currently... It was that
it's
pathway
basically where the... Yeah.
behind Bugs Land, and that is where the Wakanda attraction is going to go.
Yep.
So...
Which is technically the Avengers headquarters.
Yes. So it's going to go past the Tavon collection and into
Yep.
Avengers Campus.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. The other big announcement that came out of this, sorry, we have to keep pushing because we're running out of time, is Epcot.
Okay.
There are lots of changes coming to Epcot. They're getting rid of Future World completely.
It's
Future
going
World.
to be a tennis ball now.
Yes. There's going to be neighborhoods instead, is what they're calling them.
They love neighborhoods now.
So there's World Celebration, there's World Discovery, and there's World Nature, and then obviously World Showcase, which is already there. And the three new ones kind of go, they're basically all pointing towards the front of the park. They're kind of like parallel with each other, all pointing towards the front of the park. And we're getting a new Moana experience with living waters that you can interact with kind of over by the sea. We're getting the Guardians of the Galaxy Rewind attraction. Cosmic Rewind attraction, which is going to be the first, let me see if I get this right, the first Disney coaster that will shoot you off backwards and also spin you around 360 degrees. It's storytelling, but they're billing it as a family-friendly coaster.
Yes.
So that to me says it's going to be at a
Negative 16 G's for kids.
level of like
I think it'll be
Thunder Mountain
or
or Space Mountain or something. So I think it's going to be great. There's, what is it?
Space 220.
Space 220, which is a restaurant that's 220 miles above Mission Space Pavilion, and you'll get in an elevator and you're going to look down and there's supposedly like video, or not video, there's going to be windows that show you going up to space, the 220 miles, which I'm curious, is anybody going to want to eat or regret eating after going on that elevator?
I'm scared.
Like, I literally, that was my first thought. I'm like, 220 miles in, let's say, 30 seconds. I wonder how that's going to go for people. Yeah.
Does anyone know the actual coolest thing that's ever been eaten in space?
What?
It's a pastrami sandwich.
Of course.
That is great.
It was stolen onto a space station during a mission. They were supposed to be testing the relevance of food particles in space.
That's cool.
And particles.
There's also going to be a new exposition building that's going to be 3 stories tall. The bottom level you can walk through. The middle level is going to have an expo center, and the top level is going to have a park, which I'm sure they're going to have a dining package of some sort where you can watch the fireworks from.
I think they've already alluded to that.
There's also going to be a new show coming for Spaceship Earth that will focus on storytelling and the history of storytelling and how it brings humanity together.
Cool concept.
I love this.
Yep.
And I do think there's going to be some Disney IPs thrown in there. We'll see.
If you got them lying around.
Right.
I mean,
Canada's getting a new show. China's getting a new show. France is getting a sing-along, Beauty and the Beast.
France getting a new attraction.
France, is
And
getting
new
the new
food.
attraction, new food, and
UK.
that's a lot going. And UK's
And the
getting.
United
I was like,
Kingdom.
United Kingdom is getting a Mary
Dick Van
Poppins
Dyke.
attraction.
It's getting Dick Van Dyke.
That was probably
At all
one of the
times.
most magical moments
He's just
of the
going to
morning.
be out there.
Yeah, probably.
He's just
Although
like a greeter.
I did notice in the concept art,
Walmart.
the weird thing in the concept art, it was Mary Poppins Returns characters.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with either. It'll be fine.
He's in Mary Poppins Returns. It's okay.
That is true.
That's true.
That's a good point. And he did, the best part was when he exited, he made the Mr. Dawes joke and started doing When You Invest Your Toppins. It was very cute. So all of that coming to Epcot. Thoughts, go fast now.
I'm really excited. I enjoyed Epcot the last time I was there, and it sounds like they're not taking away anything I did like, and they're improving upon the things that I may have avoided last time.
Epcot is my favorite park that I have ever stepped foot in a Disney resort. And I think that they are tapping in more into the 1980s original concepts that they had of all the rings and the storytelling.
Colors even. Like
Yeah.
in the pavilion, they had, we have a few pictures somewhere.
Yeah.
And they had this really cool 3D model of Epcot that wasn't factual at all, but they would light up which section the video, and we have the full video up
beautiful.
of Epcot, of like what's coming to Epcot. And so like if it was doing France, it was showing what's coming to France, it would light up the France part of the map, and then they had Spaceship Earth in the very middle of it with everything just around a circle. But behind that, on the other side of the screen, they just had all of the different logos, and it was all of those really cool 80s colors.
Yeah.
And I'm completely intrigued by it. And I really think this expo center is going to be something that we end up taking pictures of, and it's going to become as much of an icon as, say, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as much as Spaceship Earth, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
And
There, in fact.
I just think there's a lot to like about
You should
this.
go read this entire article. I published it literally like 32 minutes ago.
Literally.
Literally.
And I get really into my love of Epcot and the original concepts and why I think this is a fantastic thing and that they're staying true to the mission of Epcot. So
And the new entrance is gorgeous.
And Dreamer's Point is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, Dreamer's Point. We didn't even talk about that. Talk about that real quick.
Dreamer's Point is going
We're
to
gonna
be
go over a little bit.
at the exit of Spaceship Earth, currently kind of where the Fountain of Nations area is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a park with a garden, bushes, an interactive fountain, which I'm excited to see, but also a statue of the original dreamer, Walt Disney. And he's kind of sitting and admiring the park that has been built. And I make the argument of, yeah, Walt Disney wasn't alive to see Epcot be built, but it's something that he set in motion with the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And he is the person that made it so we can be sitting here 65 years later talking to YouTube about Disney park changes.
So what I would like to see, and Bailey just hit on this, is when they open up, like when they rededicate Epcot, because I feel like they probably could with this, with the Dreamer's Point. I really think Tom Hanks should be there. Because he'll have just come off of his Mr. Rogers film, and since it's gonna be a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm
giving
favorite
this
person,
was
Tom
Bailey.
Hanks.
I'm running with what Bailey posted on Twitter, and I just think that would be perfect. And
He should also show up
I
at
have the
Pixar
power
Pier.
to make people emotional anytime I enter a room.
He shows up at Pixar Pier and he's like, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, because there's also 4 neighborhoods in Pixar Pier.
that could be new memes. Instead of the Walt Disney opening everything, you could just having Tom Hanks dressed as Mr. Rogers opening.
But you know, as various Tom Hanks characters. I want Castaway. I want Sully Sullenberger.
Beautiful Day in the
I
Neighborhood.
want
Mr. Rogers.
the sea captain.
Look at me, I'm the captain.
Yeah, that one. And I want when he got
Captain
big
Phillips, that's it.
in big. I want all that.
Young and old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to do the whole piano thing. It'd be great.
Is there anything in these Epcot changes that really worry you? Like,
No.
I honestly saw nothing in there where I was like, ooh.
They just haven't said anything about Figment.
The thing I did look
Protect
is
my boy.
it's in that area is in the celebration, world
Yes.
celebration. And so that made me less worried about him. And the Imagineer that introduced the segment was talking about how inspired by Figment he was as a kid. And I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, that's there. They had the painting of Figment. Like, they didn't flat out say Figment staying, but they did acknowledge him a couple times. And I was like, well, maybe if they're acknowledging him, he's got a chance.
I feel as he's become an icon of Epcot just as much as, like, Spaceship Earth.
We love Figment.
We do. We stand Figment in
Our
this
goal
household.
is to someday have a Figment piece of art right off this corner where you can't see.
We've been
But,
searching for the right Figment
It
piece
has
of
to
art
be the
for
right piece,
quite
but
a while.
yeah. But all right, so we're all on board with Epcot. We'll have to talk about all the other stuff some other time. Maybe not at all. Who knows? We'll see.
You should go to thegeekscorner.com. We talked about a lot of stuff, but we didn't talk about Star Wars, my dude. Star Wars.
We
Oh
didn't
my
have
gosh.
time.
Star Wars. Thegeekscorner.com. We talk about Star Wars a lot there, too.
We just need to do it again.
You should go to DAPSMagic.com, check out all the news about double-bladed red lightsabers, subscribe to our mailing list, and check out our Patreon.
And while you're at it, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You don't want to miss any of the videos we are posting. We've got more D23 stuff going up. We've got Star Wars Galaxy's Edge stuff going up this week because it opens at Walt Disney World. And then all our normal shows, whether it's this, Disney Reporter, DAPS Vlog, you don't want to miss any of those either. So make sure to subscribe. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye!